Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of A Coffee with Chris, the social media show that helps you create impact. As always, brought to you in association with our lovely charity partners, 𝗖𝗵𝗄𝗲, who help local people affected by cancer, and Blue Bear Coffee, replacing your business's coffee to help children that have experienced human trafficking. Today, well, actually, that's a lie. I've not been sipping on it today because I've already finished my bag, as you can see here. This week, I've been drowning myself in their 𝗖𝗵𝗄𝗲𝗲 blend. It's from Brazil. It's delicious. You can buy it online and help their amazing social enterprise. Of course, as well, this show is sponsored by some amazing people. Oliver Hill from Hill Coaching Company, Limitless Film and Media, Gemma from Mindset HR, and Wingfield Consultants. Now, let's get into today's conversation with an amazing guest. So excited to speak to this amazing person. She is an AI and automation expert and founder of Made for AI, Carly Meyers. Made for AI, for those of you that don't know, is a complete, and I mean complete, solution that gives you the tools to grow, automate, and scale your business in one place. Carly, welcome aboard. We like to start each conversation with the why. Why AI? How did you end up here? Because I believe at one point you were on the West End stage, right?
Yeah. None of this ever makes sense. Whenever I tell my story and people expect that I, got a degree in tech or something like that, it didn't start off that way at all. Yeah, I was a professional dancer and I was in the West End. I was in musicals like Wicked, We Will Rock You, Top Hat. I did the final shows of Monty Python at the O2. I had an amazing career. And then went to an audition, did a split leap, went over on my ankle, career ended, got carried off in a stretcher in an ambulance, and the audition kept going like da 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 da, and I'm there getting carried out. It was a low point, but that was the end of my career. And then I was trying to figure out what the hell to do after that, and then I started working for Apple. Just in the store at first, and was helping people with their tech. And at that point, I didn't realize how that would kind of transpire in the future, but I got really good at speaking about tech in a really simple way. Like 70-year-old Cliff would come in and he'd be like, how do I do my Apple password? And I'd talk about it and do all this. And I'd be talking to him about the new MacBook Pro. And I got really good at simplifying tech and talking about it in a really simple way. And then ended up becoming a business specialist for them, and then started a social marketing company myself. Ended up growing that to, we were doing about 250K a month at the time. So we were about 2.5 million. And then the pandemic hit, and then that crumbled again. I'm like the bounce back queen. I really am. But then what happened then was I'd learned so much in my social marketing. I knew how to, create a personal brand and how to create a product and get it in the hands of the people that wanted it most. So I started teaching people how to do this and actually how to turn their skills and their knowledge into digital products. So I was doing that, and then I got to a point where I was teaching them how to do it, and they were all getting stuck at the tech. They were like, I know what I want to do, but how do I build a funnel and an email? It was taking them like 9 weeks to get a lead magnet out. And I was like, this is not going to work. So I wanted to create a solution where I could give them all of my funnels and my templates that I'd spent like 12 years creating myself. I just wanted to give it to them and say, here you go, just put your branding on and off you go. Let's get your products out into the world. So then I created my software, which is Made for AI. And with this, people could open up an account and I could give them all of my stuff done for them already, all of my templates and funnels and everything. And so that was amazing. That was about 2 years ago now. And that kind of brings everything into one place, really keeps everything simple. And then after that, people were like, this is amazing. I love this. I still want you to do it for me. I was like, I'm giving you everything. So then that's when our agency came about. And our agency is really where we focus on like AI and automation and helping people do incredible things with teeny tiny teams. And the reason why I'm so passionate about it, to go back to your question about why I do this, why I kind of love AI and I'm such a big advocate for automation, is that I am a mum. I've got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. And I have big dreams. When I had my kids, my motivation and goals just 10x'd. I was like, I want to take this big. But my time completely shrunk. and that I do not have the 12 hours that these other hustle bros have. So I was like, I need to work in a really, really smart way. And that's why I love this, because it enables someone like myself to still be fully present with my kids. I'm there at every school drop off, every school pick up, every sports day, all the things. And I can still build a massive business and have all the big goals that all these big corporations have, and AI enables me to do that. So that's kind of why I'm super, super passionate about this, and why I just love to help people create massive things with a really small team and really small resources. It's a very exciting time we're in.
What a story, what a why. Love the mission behind it. Such a fascinating journey, and I'm sure it's empowered you to kind of get to the heights that you've got to today, Carly. I really want to go into the mindset side of things now, Carly, actually, and essentially then leading into the starting steps, because many people, hey, including myself, we look at AI and we kind of start to melt and we go, what on earth is this? What do I do with it? Robots are going to take over and kill us all. And we go into a state of oblivion and crazy thinking over it. So for someone that is a technophobe, for someone that is maybe just completely overwhelmed by the world of AI, what would you say they need to do in terms of getting their head around it? And then in terms of business side of things, how do they get started with AI to do the things that you've said there, save time, automate, speed up processes?
So I think it's so easy to get overwhelmed. I still get overwhelmed as well. I'm constantly researching this stuff. And when I think I am the expert at this, all this stuff comes out and I'm like, I know nothing. I've got so much to learn. And, it can still feel overwhelming even for myself. And I love this stuff. So I fully get that feeling. The most important thing to remember is that no one knows what the world is going to look like 5 years from now, even 3 years from now. Even the people that have created these things, they can't tell you what it's going to look like. So it really is a waste of time. As much as we feel like we're kind of, having some control over it by thinking about what might happen, we really don't know. So all we can do is focus on what do we have right now and what can we do right now? And there's a couple of things you can do right now. The first one, I'm glad that you touched on the mindset, because I believe that this AI space that we're in is such a mindset shift. And this is the shift that we have to have. We have to go from thinking, this is my job and this is what I do and this is what my skills are, to how can I upskill myself constantly? How can I become a master of these skills? Because there are so many tools that are coming out that are going to replace people's jobs. It was for me. We had a marketing agency first where we were building funnels and things like that. And then when I saw this coming, I was like, whoo, we need to shift. This is not going to be where my business is going to thrive. So I became a master at the tools that were a threat to my job. And now I've made myself and our business very, very valuable because we're really good at these tools. So the mindset shift is, first of all, having the kind of relentless pursuit to upskill yourself and learn, and just know that things are shifting and I need to adapt. If you like, get on your mirror in your bathroom, write in lipstick, I will adapt. As long as you have that, as long as you have that mindset, you will be fine. But if you're going to stay in that mindset of like, this is all happening to me, what am I going to do? You're really, really going to struggle. So have that adaptability mindset, but also strip everything back. And instead of you're going to see so many adverts of things popping up. There's this advert for this tool that's like, look at this, you can do this, and then look at this, you can do this. And the risk is you can become a bit of a subscription hoarder where you're like, oh, let me sign up for all of those things. I know that because I have gone through that cycle of subscription hoarding myself. It's a slippery slope. Don't do it. And instead, look at your business or look at what you're doing and say, what's the problem that I would most like AI to solve first? Always start with the problem, because there's so much fancy, sexy stuff that you can add on, but it's just going to add to the chaos. So strip it back and say, I always say, think about your worst day. Like, think about a day and you get to the end of the day and you come home and you're like, that was rough today. Things did not go to plan, and it's like high stress. What are the things that cause you the most amount of stress, the most frustration, the most kind of friction in your business, where you feel like you're just pushing a boulder uphill? Look at those things first and think, how can I fix that with AI? The best place to then go from there is, once you say, right, the thing that's really like not working at all. Say, for example, it's onboarding. Clients come in and then it's just a mess trying to get them all set up and people aren't happy and it's all like this. So say onboarding is one of those things. Then go to ChatGPT and say, this is my business. This is the kind of clients that I serve. This is the offer that we give. Can you help me with an onboarding process to automate this? So I use AI to help me with AI,
Wow.
You know, I'm always using, how I use ChatGPT is really like my brain. People always think that ChatGPT is so much about like creating social media posts and things like that, but that's actually not where I use it the most. I really use it as my brain. So I'll go in there and I'll say, can you help me iron this out? This isn't working. This is what we currently do. What's the problem with it? Why is this not working? Can you make it better? And then help that guide you.
Amazing. And you've brought it up, ChatGPT, and I have to shoehorn in here prompts and prompting. I think this is coming into people's thinking now when it comes to AI. I think this is beginning to be the beginner level, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are prompting pretty poorly, Carly, right? And one of the things that obviously I see all the time and I'm plagued by, and it gives me the shudders when I see it on LinkedIn and social media, is really poorly prompted social media content. So what I'd love to hear from you is, what's your advice when it comes to prompting AI tools such as ChatGPT in order for you to get the most out of it and in order for it to be factually correct and impactful?
Yeah, so prompting is so important. Like the tools that we have available to us are only as good as the prompts we give them. And what I see so much is people will just go in, exactly as you say, they do a really crap post, prompt, and they say, can you write me a LinkedIn article about this? And then, I've just seen a comment pop up. That's lovely, isn't it? It's fancy tech, this. This is right up my street. People go in and then they write something and then the response is bad and then they just leave it. Like a lot of people are in a very abusive relationship with their chat GPTs. I've seen it. You go in, you just bark an order at it, you don't get what you want, and then you go off in a strop. And then 2 seconds later, you're asking it about how to cook chicken in the air fryer. And the chat GPT is like, I don't even know what's going on. So you do need to know how to prompt properly. The first thing is that you need to give it context. So you need to say who you are, who your business is, who you serve, who is your ideal client, who you're really loving to speak to, who do you really want to speak to in this thing. The second thing is that you need to give it direction. So you need to say, what do you want from it? Give it that output. What do you want from it? It might be something like, I want an email sequence. It might be something like, I want a LinkedIn post. You also need to make sure that you give it the format that you want it in as well. So for example, with social media posts, something that I do a lot is a lot of people will write. Do you follow Lara Acosta on LinkedIn?
Yes, I do.
She's great. I really, really like her. And she always breaks down the anatomy of her posts and why certain things work. So instead of just going in and saying, hey, can you write me a viral LinkedIn post? I will take that post that she's done where she's broken down the anatomy of a post. I'll put that in there and I'll say, can you use this framework when you're creating content for me? So you can put that in the knowledge base of your chat GPT as well, so that it always remembers it, but you're giving it some guidance about how you want it to be structured. Otherwise you're just going to get a whole rambly post, which is not that great. But also give it an identity. This is what people don't do a lot, and it's really important. So don't just say, can you write me a LinkedIn post, or can you write me an email sequence? Say, you are an expert copywriter. Tell it who it is. If it's a legal advisor, you are an expert legal advisor. I will actually go so far to give them a name. So 𝗵𝗶𝗁𝗲 is a copywriter that I really like. And so I will, whenever I'm doing any email copy, I will say, you are expert copywriter 𝗵𝗶𝗁𝗲. Can you write this for me? Or I will say, you specialize in conversion copy like 𝗖𝗵𝗵𝗁𝗲𝗲. Can you go in and write this for me? And I'm really giving it an identity before I ask it to do something. That's when you get much better output. And then also tell it what you don't want. So I give it loads of red flags. So there's certain words that I don't like. There's certain if there's terminologies in your industry that you really don't like, put it in there. If there is a style of tone that you like to speak in or you don't like to speak in, for example, if you're a funeral director, I probably wouldn't go down like the funny route. I'd probably just keep it a bit more conservative. But do you know what I mean? So make sure that you're telling it who it is, but also what your brand voice is. And I've done a whole training on this. There's so much I could give you, but you can also take your things that you've written yourself. So if it's emails that you've written yourself, or podcast recordings where you've been speaking, or video recordings, get the transcript of that and put that in there as well. So really take the time to train it on your brand voice and get it to speak like you. Don't just look at it and think, oh, that looks good. Because I think probably one of the biggest jars in attention is where someone suddenly switched to creating AI content, and it just doesn't sound like them. And you're like, who's this? We don't say words like that. And that's where it doesn't really stick. So yeah, prompting is really important. Also though, if you're not sure how to prompt, ask ChatGPT how to write you a prompt. So you can go to ChatGPT again. You can go a layer before the prompt and say, can you write me a prompt for some high converting LinkedIn content or whatever it is that you want to do? This is how I would like it to come out. This is the next tip. Get it to write you a prompt and then go into a separate chat and put that prompt in. But also say to it, why did you write the prompt that way? This is another thing that people are missing so much. I don't just use ChatGPT and AI to do the things for me. I use it as my business coach. So I will say, why did you write that prompt that way? Why did you add that bit in about that? Can you explain what it is that makes that a really high, a really, really powerful prompt, and get it to start teaching you how to prompt. That's probably my biggest tip that people don't do.
Wow.
It takes a little second after you've done it, but get it to teach you and you will become so much smarter.
I feel like I'm in one of the Matrix films now, because we're getting further and further entwined in the AI world.
I told you we'd go off on a tangent, I did say.
That's good, probably a prompt in the way. Do you know, Carly, I think the real kind of standout goal for me there, personally anyway, I'm not sure about the people watching live or watching and listening back, is giving it an identity. Don't just ask it a question and run off and you don't get the answer you want, and then you say, oh, AI is rubbish, right? Give it an identity. I love that. And, almost defining the tone of voice. I think overall the thing that I've learned is just give it as much information to work with as possible, which I know is quite basic advice, but that seems to work for me. Carly, I must drag you over to social media and the world of AI and automation. And I'm really interested to understand, for someone like yourself who's super busy, a mum, etc., how and what tools do you use when it comes to automation and AI to excel on social media platforms?
So there's a couple that you can use. In terms of like video, you've probably used it before, breaking down long form content into short form. 𝗖𝗵𝗁𝗲 is a really good one for that. So you can put your long form in there, break it all down. You've got loads of video clips, which is great. I actually use my custom GPT for all of my social media content. I use it for everything. By the way, I've done a whole training on this. If you go onto my YouTube, you can see it. It's a 2-hour training, full course on how to build your team of employees. And one of them is a social media content creator. So I've trained that really, really well on all of the formulas and the frameworks that I like that other people do. But also my own content, my own copy, my podcast, everything like that. It knows me so well. And what we actually do is I'm full nerd. I hope you're ready for this. This is full nerd. This is probably a bit more advanced, but the first step is do the custom GPT. That's a great step. If you're not full nerd and you're not well into your tech, you can definitely do that, and it will help you create brilliant content. Something that we do with our clients is that we will then use an app, a platform called 𝗖𝗵𝗿𝗶. 𝗖𝗵𝗿 will actually go on to like Reddit, or I've got another tip for you. It will go on to like Reddit, YouTube, X, all of that. It will scrape all of the content of the viral post for your people that are in your industry that are, similar competitors. Scrape all of that content, dump it into a Google Doc. That Google Doc then connects to your custom GPT that you've trained on your social media voice, and it is a social media content creator. That content then goes through there. You say, rewrite this based on this research of high performing content and give me some posts. And then that will automatically post out to all of your social media platforms. You use a tool called N8N, which is what links all the things together. So we are getting super techy here, but I just want to kind of give you an idea of things that you can do and how you can kind of build these things together. But my biggest tip is Reddit is an absolute goldmine. So going onto Reddit and typing in, I did this with a client of mine, go in and type in, whatever your niche is in the question box, and you're going to see threads and threads and threads and threads of content of people asking questions in your niche, so like whatever it is that you do. asking loads of questions. You can literally copy and paste all of that, put that into your custom GPT and say, can you create me 10 viral LinkedIn posts or whatever based on this? And then you know that you're answering direct questions that people are asking. Yes. And that's such a key bit. It takes me into another thing, which is how we get into AI search. AI search is the way we're searching for stuff now. Everyone is shifting from Google to ChatGPT. I don't really Google anything anymore. I just go on ChatGPT and I ask it, where can I find this? And so what this kind of content does, if you're answering direct questions that people are asking, your content is going to start to show up in AI search, because AI search loves that kind of simple question and answer typed content. And it means you're going to start ranking up there. So it's the easiest thing to do in order to get viral content.
Oh, what a tip. So much in that. We're going to have to do a round 2 or probably 3 at some stage, Carly. Right. There's this ongoing fight between AI, robots, tech, and authenticity and personable and real. And so I just kind of want to throw that grenade at you and say, what is your honest take on AI and authenticity and this kind of warfare that we're seeing online at the moment, especially on social media sites? We've already spoken about it, where people are doing it so badly and it's then actually detracting from their brand. How do you get the balance right between AI and authenticity? I'm fascinated.
So I basically use AI and automation to get me more into my human zone. When people are bogged down with all this admin and AI and creating stuff and you're out of the zone of speaking to people and actually being you and actually being there connecting with people. So what we want to do is use AI to take care of all of that stuff so that you can get more into those connection pieces. And in terms of the content that I'm creating, I'm kind of actually going the opposite of AI. So AI content is going to be everywhere, especially with video generation, video avatars. It's all going to be very, very highly produced, high resolution, high graphic, loads of stuff going on. That's what we're going to be seeing all the time. And when someone sees something all the time, their brain just kind of gets morphed into it and it's really hard to stand out. So I'm actually going, when people are going right, I'm going to go left. And I'm doubling down on the most real and raw content. So the videos that I'm putting out are me on my iPhone in my car talking. There's no emojis, graphics, all this fancy stuff going. I'm actually going to go the opposite way. I'm also doing a vlog. This is a classic Carly. I had a little thing. I was asleep. If something comes to you and you're like, I think this is what I want to do. And then the next day I was in Curry's buying my little Osmo pocket camera. I wish I wasn't quite so, quick to do stuff, but it's good. And I'm actually going to do a vlog, which is a very real vlog. Again, no high production value, very, very real. So I would say, first of all, use AI and automation to automate all of the stuff that is stopping you doing that. I know that my business grows the most when I'm speaking on stages, I'm networking, I'm connecting with people, I'm having conversations, I'm having genuine, really good conversations with people. And I'm not rushing because I've got no time on my calendar. So I'm using AI and automation to completely free up my calendar to get more of those interactions on there. But also in terms of content, I'm going the opposite to AI. I'm not going to try and compete with it.
I love that. I think that is so smart. I love the idea of if you're going left, you go right. And actually, sometimes people do that a bit too far. And it's like, come on, you're just saying that to get rage bait, right? But obviously in this world that we're in now, where AI tools are able to create copy and content so fast, creating that real kind of raw, authentic, mobile shot video content is just so good. And I'm sure you will agree with me, Carly, that people have been skipping video for so long and they've been like, well, I'll leave that to the people that are more, extroverted. But actually now, because of how advanced these AI tools are and are getting more advanced as well, it's even more important that you do video, because if not, your content could look like an AI tool's done it, right? So it's really great to hear from you that you should do raw, authentic video for social.
Oh, definitely. And also, I'm a mum, I'm a busy mum, and I'm doing my thing. You know what I mean? I can't be playing the same game as Gary Vee and Stephen Bartlett. And I think it's so easy to look at these people, and of course you aspire to be like them, and you're inspired by them, but you can't play the same game I think, what's the point? Like, I have a message that I want to get out, and I want to get it out in the best way possible. And my consistency looks like doing it in the car when I'm sat in the car park and I'm about to go and pick up the kids, and I'm sat in Sainsbury's or whatever it is. And when I get a moment of inspiration, I just want to get it out. That's the best way of doing it. So I would say, if you're waiting for everything to be perfect and things like that, you could actually be. You could have a real great advantage, the fact that your life doesn't look perfect, because you're going to stand out in a very perfect, curated world.
Relatable, trustworthy, and hey, actually, just a quick social media tip for people here that are watching now. These platforms now are prioritizing video content without the polished edits, branding, watermarks. They want the point of entry to be more attainable than ever before. So they will reward you in terms of reach and engagement by simply posting raw, authentic mobile shop video content. Brilliant, Carly. We won't go into that too much more. Got to move you now into mistakes, times of the essence with you, I know. What are the classic mistakes you see from entrepreneurs online in your world that come to you and you're like, I hear this all the time, stop making this mistake?
Yeah, I definitely think people thinking that more equals more. And it's not, like for businesses that we see, they have so much stuff. They have this platform here and this platform here and doing this here. And they're just accumulating all of this stuff. And one of the first things that we do is strip everything back and see how can we do what you're doing with the least amount of tools, the least amount of people. A lot of the time we are, automating some people or shifting them into a better area. How can we do more with less? And I think people need to shift their mindset into thinking that more is more, because it's not. But also knowing that the people who can benefit most from AI and automation, they are probably the ones that are currently drowning and their calendar is packed and they're like, oh my God, I haven't even got time to look at this. And if you just take the moment, take a little time to invest in training your custom GPT properly, or learning how to prompt properly, or learning a tool which is going to accelerate you so much more, which is going to enable you to do what you do 10 times faster, you will fly because of it. But you can't keep going on this hamster wheel that you're going. Like, AI is going nowhere. This isn't a case of like, when TikTok came out and people were like, I don't think I'm going to get on TikTok. That was me. This isn't like, I don't think I'm going to get on AI. This is like, you have to get on AI. You have to figure this out. You have to figure this thing out, because this is the way things are going. So take the time to do that now, because it will pay dividends. We really do need to sometimes step back in order to propel forward, and it will change the game entirely for you.
Carly, that leads me nicely on to talking about your business now. Just give us a bit of an overview in terms of like, where can people go after this conversation to learn more about you and your business and your offering and your platforms and the opportunities and the training? Please explain.
Yeah, so definitely my YouTube, I would say that's the best thing. If you like what I've shared today, I basically talk about AI in a very simple way. I think there's a lot of people that overcomplicate it. I think people talk in very tech jargon just because it gives them a little ego boost, and I'm not interested in doing any of that. I really just want you guys to get it. I just want you to be like, oh my God, I get it, and I want you to start using it. So the way I teach and the way I talk about this is very actionable. The whole goal is just to get you moving and get you using it. So I would say go onto my YouTube. You can find me under Carly Meyers. There is another Carly Meyers, which is like this emo DJ. I'm not that one. I'm the maid from Walk, Carly Meyers. But go onto there, and then, as I said, I've got a whole 2-hour video which goes through all of this stuff. And then in there, you can book a call if you want to learn more about our AI growth engine. This is where we build a full lead generation machine for you, content creation machine, and we also get you discovered on ChatGPT as well.
Carly, you're a superstar. Thank you so much for your time today. I'm very, very grateful, and we must do another one soon.
Definitely. There was so much. I feel like I could just literally go off on a tangent when you were like, you can keep it short if you want to. No, there's so much to say. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you so much to everyone that's watching live, watching back, listening back. If you've enjoyed this episode, give us a 5-star review on Spotify, iTunes, a thumbs up on YouTube. And hey, why not get involved in the conversation on social media? Tag @ReedSocial. Tag myself, tag Carly. I'm sure she'd be happy to answer any questions or queries as quickly as she can. Maybe she's using a tool to do so. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Coffee with Chris, and I will see you this time next week for